everyone, it's Ava. Welcome to or back to my YouTube channel, and in today's video I'm so excited because I'm filming my favorite types of videos, like literally ever, a big sister advice video. And this one's gonna be on high school advice for incoming freshmen. So if you don't already know, I'm going into my junior year of high school this year. So my first half freshman year was pretty much normal, and then when COVID hit in March, I'm sure like many of you, my school went fully virtual. And for about all of sophomore year, I did every other day hybrid. So one day I would go in person and the other day I would do virtual from home. I also think it's important to note that I've been in the same school district my whole life, so I've been sort of around the same people my whole life, but I've also had the opportunity to meet a lot of different new people as well. So without further ado, let's get straight into the advice. I kind of broke my advice down in different categories. So the first category I want to touch on is involvement. And I literally can't stress enough how important it is to get involved if you want to have like somewhat of a positive high school experience. To get involved, first of all, you must have an open mind. That kind of goes for this whole video and this whole experience. You need to have an open mind, because if you have a closed mind, you're less likely to enjoy it because you're not like open to trying new things. But getting involved is a great way to meet people that are maybe interested in the same thing as you, or maybe you can find things that you're passionate about, or like work on things that you've been wanting to work on, or literally anything. Different ways you can get involved are through different clubs and sports. So I personally was involved my freshman year in cross country and track. And then I've also been in some clubs. Another thing with involvement, I think it's super important to take advantage of the resources that are provided to you. Otherwise, you're kind of just using them as a waste, so might as well use them if they're there. The next topic I want to touch on is probably like one of the big ones in your mind, and that is friends, friendships, making friends, all of that. First thing I want to say, especially if you're coming from the same school district like myself, is don't judge people on preconceived notions. I feel like oftentimes in middle school, people are very gossipy and very cliquey, and sometimes like you will literally have never spoken to someone in your life, but you already like have decided and formed an opinion that you don't like them just because of what you've heard from people around you. So I think it's really important to kind of keep an open mind once again and get to know everyone, and if you find out that that person lives up to those negative like judgments, then you just distance yourself from them. But sometimes and oftentimes you might find that that person's actually like pretty cool, and you might actually become friends with them. And don't like limit yourself. Like once you like are maybe possibly in a friend group, like don't feel like you can't be with other groups or with other friends. Like just like be friends with whoever you want to be friends with. I think that's like kind of one of my like biggest regrets. I don't know if it's like a big regret, but I feel like freshman year I was like kind of like confined to one friend group, and not that that was bad or anything. I still like all the people in that friend group or whatnot. I feel like I kind of limited myself into the people that I talked to, and I only hung out with the people in my friend group, and I feel like I wish I would have branched out a little bit more my freshman year. I also think you should try to genuinely talk to as many people as you can, whether in your extracurriculars or your classes, and definitely your classes. Like I can't emphasize how nice it is to have good solid school friends. I don't know if anyone else uses the term school friends, I just know that's like a thing that I do. School friends are like people that you can like rely on, that if you're in their class, like you guys can like chat it up, or you can like talk about the homework, help each other, like be in like group projects together, anything like that. I love good school friend.
That sounded so weird.
Also, a lot of people might be like alert when I'm like, oh yeah, talk to people, oh yeah. They're probably like, Ava, I have social anxiety. And don't worry, because I sort of do as well. I think like my #1 tip to like kind of combat that and not be so nervous when talking to new people is that person's really not going to remember that interaction beyond it happening in the moment, and you're the only one overthinking it. I know that is probably way easier to hear than actually act upon, because I'm such an overthinker and I literally think of every conversation I've ever had before I try to go to bed. But like once you kind of just like drill that into your mind, it actually genuinely helps, because that person like is not gonna remember that conversation. So even if you embarrass yourself, like you'll be the only one remembering it pretty much. The next thing I want to talk about is grades. And first of all, don't like slack on your freshman year grades. Probably your freshman year is going to be your easiest year academically, so you should definitely try to get good grades your freshman year so it doesn't like tank your GPA when you're trying to like apply to college and things like that, if you're like going down that route, you know. Another big thing with grades is please try to avoid discussing your grades with other people. This like whole thing has literally like ruined me sometimes trying to discuss my grades with other people, because I know sometimes people come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I'm so sad about my 90, and I'll like sit here be getting like a 75, and I'm like, yeah, and I was like content with my 75 because I was so lost in the class. Like, feeling not good about your grades like isn't the best feeling. I know, like, another thing with grades, and I know this is gonna sound so cliche and everyone's gonna be like, really? But shut up. but just try your best with them. Like, I know that sounds so stupid, but like, school isn't for everyone, and everyone has a different path, and everyone has like a different thing that they want to do after high school, and you just need to get through like the 4 years of education, and then you can figure out your life and your path and your journey and all that. So just try your best, and if you're like not doing like perfect straight A's, that's okay, because you're gonna end up wherever you're like you need to end up, you know what I mean? And last thing I want to talk about grades is try to find a healthy balance between your grades and your social life. Like, when you look back on your high school memories, you're not gonna really remember like the one bad test you had, you know? You're gonna remember like the fun time that you, I don't know, like went to the football game or something. I don't know. And also keep in mind, everyone's balance is gonna look different. Some people put a lot of priority in school, so their school balance is gonna be a little bit more, and then some people, they kind of naturally just don't need to study as much, so their like social life like scale might be a little bit more, you know what I mean? The next big one I want to talk about is drama and bullying. So I know for me personally, I was like bullied in middle school. I've kind of touched on it before, but I know personally I wasn't really bullied in high school. That like bullying from middle school didn't really carry over to high school, and I know it's not going to be that case for everyone, but I know that has also happened to some other people. I feel like sometimes in high school people are just a little bit more focused on themselves and not as focused on everyone else, like how people are in middle school. I mean, like, of course, every now and then, like, people are just not gonna be the nicest. I know I've like gotten a couple snarky comments about my YouTube channel in like the hallways sometimes. I don't know, it didn't really faze me. I'm just, again, like, I was kind of used to it. I mean, of course, you're always gonna face people that are not being the nicest to you, but I mean, that's just kind of part of life. But I do want to give you guys my #1 piece of advice that I always give to anyone that's being bullied, and that is, people that are bullying you are so insecure about themselves that they feel the need to like take their anger out on you, who is like probably just living their life and thriving. Like, genuinely, I just kind of feel bad for my bullies because they're so like focused on me.
I mean, I'm just like that cool, so they're focused on me, but
now I want to touch on drama, and literally just stay out of it if you can. Like, drama is so stupid, and like what I said before, your high school memories aren't, you don't want them to be like plagued with drama. When you're old, telling your like grandchildren about high school, you're not gonna be like, yeah, but me and blah 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 got into a fight one day and then she said no. That's literally not what we're gonna be saying. So just like, why focus on it now, which is not important. So generally stay out of it as much as you possibly can. But if like you are the drama, like if like, you know, if like you literally can't get out of it, just be the bigger person. Like, be mature. Don't like be telling everyone you know and creating sides, and just try to like use communication skills and handle it maturely, because no one likes drama. I also think another thing with like drama, I feel like oftentimes drama like surrounds friend group. I feel like people kind of forget sometimes that people just like grow apart. It's just a part of growing up. Like, I just know that like the people I would consider my best friend at the beginning of middle school, I like don't even really talk to anymore, which like there's literally no beef. We just like kind of grew apart, and I'm chill with them and I'm cool with them. We just don't talk, you know what I mean? And that is the same thing with like the beginning of freshman year to currently. My friends are a little bit different, and there's no, again, like no like bad feelings. I just think that people have different interests and they grow apart, and that's just a part of life. So don't spend all your time like dwindling on it. I don't even know if dwindling is a word. Don't spend all your dwelling, that's what I meant, don't spend all your time dwelling on it. The next topic I want to talk about is dating and relationships, which I have absolutely no experience in. I don't know if that was like came to as a surprise to anyone, probably not, but I still just felt like it was important to talk about because it's kind of a big part of a lot of people's high school experiences. I know some of my friends like things like that. So I just want to say, like, make sure you're ready for that maturity wise, and the other person that you are like dating or whatever is also ready for that maturity wise. Just like be mature about it. Don't be like stupid, because then like drama will come up and everything. And then also my favorite quote is, if the grades don't touch, neither should you. Guys, I know sometimes, I don't know like if this happens in my school, because I really don't pay attention, to be honest, and it's never happened to me, but I know like sometimes like seniors will like do stuff with the freshmen, and that's like really weird, and it seems like kind of predatory almost. So just like don't do that. And the last thing is like just like an extra stuff category, because I didn't like know where to throw these things in, but just like remember to respect your teachers. Like they're humans too. It's not like quirky or funny or cool to like disrespect your teachers, and it's also important to like try to build some bonds with them, because you never know when you're gonna need them like later along for advice or like a recommendation letter or something like that. So just try to like at least have like a couple teachers that you feel like you can talk to, you know what I mean? Also, don't walk slow in the hallways. I cannot stand people walking slow in the hallways, especially when they walk in like a 5-person like clump, and they're just blocking up both sides of the hallway traffic, and you're just trying to get by to get to your class. They're all like walking, talking, and like fine, you can walk and talk, but walk and talk in like more compact group. And the last thing, like you don't really need that much of school supplies. Like I know personally at my school we carry everything around in our backpacks, and sometimes teachers will be like, you need this binder and you need this binder and you need that. No, well, maybe you like really might need them, but I know for me personally, like half my teachers told me to get binders, and I was like no, and I got a folder instead, and the folder literally did me fine, because with binders half of the papers aren't hole punched anyway, so I would have to hole punch them, which is just even more of a hassle. So why get binders when you can just save yourself from some scoliosis and back pain?
So you don't turn into myself.
Well, I think that is it for this video. If you have any more questions, if I forgot anything, I feel like I might have, I don't know, just comment anything down below, and I'll try to get back to as many of you guys as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you helped me out, if it helped you out, and let me know anything else if you want me to give you any more advice on like anything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye guys, love you.